Oh, well hello there gamers. Today I'm going to talk about this floating testicle orbiter of a champ and how a lot of people think he's bad, but really he's just misunderstood, and how properly being there to support your team, as a support, is how I will hit Challenger this year by being an a-hole on a soul. Now for starters you need to realize that Riot reversed 2 of his abilities and that his E is actually his ultimate, as it lets you engage from crazy angles to stun key targets or follow up on picks that will have some naive noobs caught out, making them the plays that will go on to ultimately decide which team will win the game. While the ability on your ult key is just something to press when you're bored, it's a small titty tickle's worth of damage, a scratch of the balls, a strong wind, when in reality a 2-item Graves does the same thing but better with a single auto attack. Second, the key to being an S+ support is bush control. No one pisses in the tall grass better than this super-sized spectral sea monkey. And this is because it creates an elaborate mental game of chess where they don't know, that you know, that they know, that you are in this unwarded bush, and by overplaying them on a brain level you bait out that center root or Lantern Larry's hook, and without their CC, it's GG. So anyways, I need to get back to the boys and win this game, so please abuse my subscribe button and let's first get started with everything you should absolutely not do while playing this champ. Right off the bat you want to make sure you don't have 3 mid laners on your team, with 2 of the 3 being autofilled. This info can be revealed in the scouting report that FaceCheck provides. Then you don't want to totally ignore the statistical best build for your champ and not press any of the buttons that will set it up for you completely, because you would rather use Glacier, and you absolutely don't want to take Smite as support. Just because you saw it work in the movies once doesn't mean you won't mistime the absolute piss out of it, revealing your flaccid floating fragile worm body in front of an entire angry mob that won't leave until you're flashless and late to lane, only to have a totally useless summoner spell for the rest of the game.
A few minutes later.
Oh, and when you fail to let your revolving baby balls do their job to kill the dogs, those suckers will remind you every time you walk by them for the rest of the game. You also don't want to ignore the detailed report from FaceCheck during loading screen that tells you valuable information about your opponents, because then you might think their Volibear ADC is trolling and walk right into him when he actually one-tricks that dumbass pick for some reason. You shouldn't expect stun to take priority over Zeus Deuce Dunk abilities, and you probably shouldn't be overconfident in your timing in your first game on this champ to long shot your way into an almost negative probability play. And lastly, you definitely don't want to do whatever I was doing here, because in the end, you'll just get reported, where you will feel bad while reading your endgame summary and lane comparison reports to analyze the dozens of things you did wrong and how to play better. So the first thing that you should do is download FaceCheck, because it provides all that, and they are sponsoring my dumb videos. And let's get into the rest of the things you should be doing. Right at the beginning of the game I typically ping the absolute piss out of my map so that even the morons who play champs like Akali know my intentions, and then I conjure up a Q and escort it while still being under the effects of early game cocaine sniffles, which allows it to grow faster than a 17-year-old's peen in the presence of tits, until it's so big that anyone AFKing mid doesn't stand an ice cube in hell's chance of dodging it, which gives you an easy trade. They might get cocky pinging their microscopic A penis, but you've already stacked your support item 3 times. At level 1 you want to abuse the fact that support is an elo inflated role, so theirs probably has the accuracy of a burnt toaster strudel, but then again so do you. But you still have these orbiting sperm cells to win the shit out of any early trade. You want to rinse and repeat like you're sponsored by a shampoo company, shoving every other loser out of lane, at which point you leave as well, giving your ADC solo bolo XP, hoping they don't turn into a useless piss pie like every other one you see, all while you have other plans.
Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know.
How would they know?
So then when you are playing 3 screens behind that falcon fuck teammate of yours and they get lassoed, your job is to peel like the skin of an albino stuck on the beach, as you strongly advise Jinx to not click the lantern. And as Skelly Boy is failing to kill 1 bird, you are killing 2 birds with 1 set of spectral splooge stars until the bony one gives in. And a level 4 Asol already has his ultimate, so use that peaceful ass glide for a quick surprise your stun combo against Golden Spatula Baby Dumbledore, which will give your mid all the time in the world to combo crush and kill the mudblood. I typically head back bot and take control of my bush, then the right click chick on their team disrespects your space, so you stun a hoe only to have a bad feeling that you forgot to do something. And a gank may stank, but your job is to put the asshole in asshole as you kill the pale caffeine addict before letting your star balls tickle the other twerps until it's time to leave, so you take a shit stun on the boner boy, then make like a midget in a fist fight and hit the sack. Now my bread and butter combo is to say you gotta take a piss and then launch the floating fuck star stunner 9000 combo, which should be enough to kill Jinx off to your ignite, but you might as well burn Flash as well. Ignoring the irony that killing a dragon makes you a cannibal, there are always things to focus on, like the horny hay bag that wants you to meet his flock of murder crows, so you circle Shard to sit him down and then you use that gentle pushback ability incorrectly on your alt key to keep him away from the lantern land of freedom. Hagrid's left nut will push his win fight button on your AD carry, so your team will have to finish off the fight without the power of a cannon minion as you elegantly glide into what will be your last assisted homicide of the play. Then we have Lanky Bob hanging out bot, and when I told you floating fuck star stunner 9000 would be a staple, I wasn't kidding, as I pretend I gotta go slip out a fart in private only to say surprise there was no fart, and I brought an anorexic tree with me this time, so unfortunately for Lantern Larry, being the hero here doesn't do jack shit except for get you slaughtered. Anyways, I decide to hit an alt combo from base to surprise the hobbling gremlin from Gryffindor, only for Riot's collision code to bend me over and stick a non-lubricated cactus up my asshole so he gets out stun free. But joke's on him, I have my other ultimate ready to come out. But joke's on him, I have my other first ultimate, and he'll never see the floaty fuck 9000 coming. So I visit him at his home, he visits me at mine. That's how these pocket-sized wizard big-headed spectral tadpole relationships typically go, as he puts me in a cage. Jinx says she was there, he fails to spank me, I hang out for a bit longer, turns out Jinx was actually there, the midget man in my life dies, and then Samsung White Noodle Head follows suit. This leads me to believe that their ADC will be more starved for cash than a heroin-addicted stripper, so I go all floaty Finley, and even though I missed my stun then forgot about Everfrost's existence, we were shoving feathers up her backside, not to mention Ivern's butt buddy Frank the Tank was in town, so Skelly Shelly wasn't having a great time either. Side note, the enemy team had a top laner looking like she was more fed than a fat ass at a fast food joint, but she was actually 0-4 and just playing Aurelia, but luckily 3 of us, both my summoners and enough ults to give a few F4 keys a good time, and she went down. But don't forget you are still a support, so when your carry gets caught you get caught harder to distract everyone from that feather slut's failures, but also to kill Thresh for a 12th time. But there's more to successfully supporting than just being around others while they kill enemies, you also have to get all kinds of vision for your team.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Checking in on if Powder is coming to peace with the awkward and helpless early chapters of her life in this one. But when you see her mid and know the boys are in town? What I meant to say is you contribute an incredible amount to the following team fight until it's time to use this magnificent insane scaling gift that Riot has bestowed on the Twilight Tadpole population. Anyways, it's late game, which means you should be supporting everyone now, so when Articuno gets caught you land the clutchy double stun of a lifetime, only for that hawk to forget about her Q keybind and opt to just get butt blessed. Side note, when ARAMs break out, just keep in mind that surprise fetish scarecrows will be looking for that perfect blood dove dicking to give to your friends, but they have all been properly supported and thus nothing can surprise the simp army around a soul in this bitch.
I think you misunderstand, that's my blue buff. I think you misunderstand, that's my wolf cat.
Oh, by the way, this was behind the scenes footage of me filming the intro. And then I went and lined up a sick ass play, didn't die, and ended the game smooth as all shit. Sup diff nerf a soul. Subscribe if you want to see more and comment what more you would want to see. Rav out.